Hello, everybody. This is Football Psyche, and I am Coach Mad Mike.
I am Lord Sarge, and we got a special guest tonight, our first female guest.
It is
Vania.
Vania.
Hi.
How you doing?
Woohoo!
Welcome to the
Thanks for having
show.
me.
Oh, even though you're wearing the wrong jersey. Now, what is that, a Witten jersey?
Yes, actually, yes.
All right. Yeah, she's a Witten. All right. So she is a Dallas Cowboys stuff, Commanders edition. So we will try to be kind and gentle with her. But, she is our rival. But interesting story. Her whole family are Redskins fans.
Mm-hmm.
All right, just for the Witten jersey, Vania, you get a Dallas background.
And just for showing that stupid logo, you are now boycotted from the show. This will be your last show. All right, everybody. So just so all the fans know, Lord Sarge will no longer be on the show anymore. We are going to take him off. Shaq will be back next week, and Lord Sarge, you only get to see him on Friday nights now.
Hey, my mama's a Dallas fan. Don't you dice on me for my mama.
I like your mom. With your mama. Okay, everybody. So here we go. The Commanders edition.
Folks, tonight we're going to go over a few key points. We're going to talk about what are the key games to watch and what to attack this year, because that's important. We're also going to be talking about the defensive scheme for the Commanders and what are they going to run. Then we're going to go over what's the latest on the bill to bring the new stadium to D.C. Is it going to happen in Congress? We'll see. And last but not least, we're going to talk about, is there support for another name change in Washington? Vania, what do you think about the Redskins versus the Commanders?
Horse poop.
Horse poop.
You're a Commanders name fan then?
Actually, no. You
like the Redskins?
I prefer the Redskins.
Woohoo!
I love you. Woohoo! That's why we got the Dallas helmet.
I knew I love this girl. All right, that's awesome. All right, so the schedule is out, Vania. What game are you looking forward to this year that might be on the Commander schedule here?
So obviously, on a biased standpoint, of course, I'm looking forward to when they play Dallas. If we maintain our record of being the only team that's undefeated in the season at home, then. But that's a big if. I'm definitely looking forward to this game on the 15th.
So you're coming to Washington on November 24th.
Yes.
And so we will try to probably be at that game. I've got another friend I work with. His name Josh. If he's listening to the show, I'm going to try to get him to that game. He's a Dallas fan. I want as many Dallas fans as I can get together to watch the Commanders beat them. So anyway, but that's not the game I'm most interested in. I'm interested in the one that's the season opener against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because I will be in Tampa with my wife watching that game.
And
which one are you looking for, Large Sarge?
The Bears coming to Washington, the number 1 draft pick and the number 2 draft pick playing together. Who's going to win?
Yeah, that'll be a good game. That'll be a good game. All right, good choices. Good choices.
I actually want to go to the game against New York, even though I'm not a Washington fan. I slightly want to go to it.
Ooh, awesome.
Oh, the second one here on September 15th?
That one is going to be at Washington home, so.
You're going to come here? If you're coming here, we got to be together in the booth.
See, there we go.
There we go. We might have to make that happen.
Got plenty of time in advance.
Okay, now we had some predictions on what the Commanders' schedule or record was going to be this year. So you can see what they are on here. Pro Football Network, I want to beat all of them up. They think that we're only going to go 2-15 and that we're going to get the number 1 overall pick in the 2025 NFL draft. Well, I'm going to tell you guys at Pro Football Network, I don't like you anymore.
2?
So
like, really? 2 games?
They're basically saying that you guys are going to be what the Panthers were this past season.
We got worse. With the number 2
Oh,
draft
my goodness. Like, I don't know. They done lost their flipping mind. So any of you guys who are Pro Football Network fans, you need to unsubscribe from them right now because they're garbage. They don't know what they're talking about.
Vania, do you think the Commanders are better than 2 games this year?
I mean, especially with all the changes that have happened to the team, absolutely. Absolutely. I actually would agree more with Bleacher Report than anything else on here.
Okay.
I love Vania.
So you see mine on the bottom. The best record on here is Bleacher's Report, along with NFL.com saying 7-10. I'm going at least 8-9. I'm saying that we are going to, my prediction is we are going to do better than what any of the NFL experts predict. because I always prove that they're wrong all the time. And I'm always right. I'm going to tell you. These NFL predictor guys, I'm telling you, I'm getting it on recording right now. I'm going to expose you. We will win 8 games this year.
You heard him, Vania? You heard him?
I just want to see it because I can see the 7, but 8, I'm like,
That's squeaking it. Squeaking it.
Little bit.
All right, Vania. All right, we got you.
I'm calling 8. I'm telling you right now. All right, guys, we're going to keep moving on. There was a couple moves this past week. So we released quarterback Jake Fromm, and we signed somebody absolutely makes no sense. Wide receiver Demary Bird, but apparently he's a special teamers, and we're going to bring him in because we're doing all that. I don't project him to make the team, but it was interesting that we scaled down on quarterbacks, and instead of getting a left tackle, which we really, really need, and signing one, we decided to sign another wide receiver. Why do we do these things?
Unbelievable. Jaden Daniels got no protection. He's got no protection.
No protection. So, but we do have a new hire today. Unlike that nasty logo that Lord Sarge has in the background, he really is a Lions fan. Where's your logo in the background there, Lions fan who's not representing?
He's a cheater. He's a betrayer. That's true.
All you Lions fans, you need to call him out for Bennett. And every Commanders fan needs to also go ahead, put boycott in the comments below. I'm going to boycott him. All right. Brandon Snosna from the Detroit Lions. We just poached him today. We hired him effective today to be our senior vice president of football operations. He is going to be taking over the same kind of role that he did with the Lions, where he was in charge of strategic planning and management and taking care of the salary cap, as well as being the chief contract negotiator. Supposedly the kid's very talented. I call him kid because he's only 31. They swore by him. Must be a good signing, I guess. What do you know about him, Large Sarge?
Nothing. Not a dadgum thing.
ESPN reported the linebacker core was the most improved spot on the Commanders, which is a no-brainer. But he said something that I found very, very interesting, because I basically thought that we would stick with the 4-3 defense. But the way that they made this sound is that the former first-round pick, Jamin Davis, will not be a starter because of the additions to Frankie Laveau and Bobby Wagner. That what they're going to do is only run with 2 starting linebackers. So I'll explain what that means for a second, because that's not a lot different from what we've seen with the shallow linebacker core under Ron Rivera, but the system's going to be completely different.
Interesting. So
they say Davis will have a role, but it won't be as an every down linebacker. What they plan on doing is featuring Mike Sinistrell. So, and what that's going to look like is it's going to be a 3 safety defense, which is also a nickel-based defense. And it's going to be one where Mike has played both corner and safety, but he's a little bit on the small side, so I'm not sure how it's going to work, because that defense sometimes can also be disguised as a 4-3. Now, the interesting part about that is, the interesting part about that is I don't think anybody's going to truly believe it's a 4-3 because Mike's on the shorter side of things. He's not going to play like a linebacker.
What's the 3 safety defense called, Coach Mad Mike?
Yeah, it's a different kind of defense, and I don't know if this is actually going to be the defense that they call, but every sign is pointing to this. For those of you who don't, I could do a special another time on a 3 safety defense, but it basically means that your nickel back is not a corner, it's a safety. And so you're basically running a nickel, but instead of having 3 corners on the field, you're having 3 safeties on the field.
So are the Commanders trying to stop the pass? Is that what that's about?
It is, but it's a little bit disguised because it's a nickel. It's a 3 safety defense. Sometimes you can blitz some safeties off of that. You can kind of disguise it as a 4-3. It's meant to cause confusion and not really give away what you're calling on defense. And there's a lot of different scheming that can be done off of that, but it's really meant to shut down the passing game.
Vania, do you think that's going to stop Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb Can the Commanders get a defense that can kill that duo? Is it possible?
After what I witnessed in the wild card game with what the defense did,
No idea?
none. Not a clue.
Maybe with Dan Quinn coming from the defense, he's come up with a plan to beat Dallas. What do you think about that?
I mean, he's got to come up with something, because where were these skills when the Green Bay Packers did the exact same play on the Dallas Cowboys 4 times and scored?
Very, very true. Very true.
Shout out to Vania. Good analysis, Vania.
All right. Well, I want you to listen. Did you see much of Joe Witt when he was the assistant under Dan Quinn on the defense last year? Or was he more of a behind the scenes kind of guy?
I feel like he was more behind the scenes. I feel like I didn't hear much.
Yeah. Well, he's now, because Dan Quinn is now our head coach, he promoted Joe Witt, who was his assistant in Dallas, to become our defensive coordinator. And what he has to say about what kind of defense we're going to run. You guys take a listen.
And in coming here with Coach Quinn, does that help you all jumpstart this defense, hit the road running a little quicker?
It does. It does. So we have a base structure of what we want to do, but very similar to what we did when we went to Dallas, okay? Everybody just knew when we went to Dallas that we were going to run ATL 3s or the Seattle 3 packaged, and it was probably 4th or 5th game when they realized, oh, they're not doing that, okay? And so what we're going to do, and that's another reason why we brought coaches from different schemes, and we were very strategic from where we brought these coaches from, because we're going to build the Commander defense. It's not going to be exactly what we did in Dallas, okay? And if you think it is and you go watch all the Dallas film, all right, good for you. You're going to be mistaken, all right? We're going to build this thing. We have the structure that we want, but we're going to take the ideas from all the coaches that we have on the defensive staff. We're going to do it just like we did in Dallas. We listened to every coach on the staff in Dallas, and we built it together, and that's what we're about to do. We're about to build this thing from the ground up with the understanding that we do have a base structure of what we want to do.
Well, there you go. So I want to hear from Vania. What do you think about that?
That's interesting to hear.
It is. It's very interesting to hear, isn't it?
That is very interesting to hear. I actually have mixed emotions about that, because you have this great plan, and I mean, the best of luck to you. But why couldn't you do it in Dallas?
Because he was meant to come to Washington.
Not like he's meant to come to Washington and he left the cheerleaders behind. That's what happened.
Well, we got the Command Force dance team. So
you like that, Vania? You like that? You don't like that? Oh man! Come on, I got Dallas.
I wish I just had a Redskins jersey.
I'm still processing what I just heard in that video. As a Dallas fan, that was a tough pill to swallow.
To hear that he had been thinking about it for a long time was something interesting. Really? You wanted to be a Washington football team / Washington Commander? Or did you want to be a Redskin? Interesting.
All right, so moving on. It is London Fletcher's birthday. It was yesterday. He is 49 years old. I got to make a shout out to London Fletcher because he holds the NFL record for the most seasons with 100 tackles in a season with 14 seasons. And the last time we had, in my opinion, we had a really great linebacker. But now with Frankie Lavu and Bobby Wagner, we are getting ready to bring it on this year, Dallas fans.
They got a mark to hit, don't they? They got a mark to hit.
They do. Well, Bobby Wagner, I'm not too worried about him. He did 168 tackles last year. Lavu, I can't remember how many he did, but he was up there, I think, over 100 as well. And he was the captain there in Carolina. So it's going to be a wrecking crew of a linebacker corps.
We hope so. We need it for Dallas.
We definitely do. So, some of our new players looking sexy out there, trying on the new digs.
Oh my God,
man! Look at this,
Coach Matt. Mike, what are you doing?
I had to put it up there, man. Looking sexy. I'm telling you, they're looking sexy out there, man.
Oh, Coach Matt, Mike, I love you. This is why you're the coach.
Oh my God! And I had a video on this, but I think I forgot to pull it up, man. But it was just like I had one, and hold on, here it is. You guys ready for it? Here it is, right here.
Who's the boy?
Here it is. Look at him. He's throwing the fake passes, showing off his new uniform, looking all sexy. Look at that. Look at that. Come on now.
Who's the white boy who looks like he got caught like a deer in the headlights? Is that McCaffrey?
That's McCaffrey. That's your guy, man.
He's like
that's your guy, man.
I love him, but dear God, have like a, what? That's not sexy.
Oh my God. This is the rough part about the off season because they got to go through all this like dog and pony kind of show stuff, but we're not going to stop making fun of you because you do stupid stuff like this. Oh my God. That just makes you a target. Look how ridiculous this is.
Luke, call your brother and get online. Make some practice photos. You got to look tougher. No one in Dallas is going to respect you with a photo like that, buddy. Even the cheerleaders are going to make fun of you. Come on, buddy. You got to look tough. You got to be in the slot. You got to be tough. You got to be mean. You got to be spitting nails in Dallas.
Oh, man. Leave Luke alone, man.
What?
Luke, the force is with you, man.
Get your lightsaber, Luke. Get your lightsaber.
Oh, my gosh. Dude, man. Oh, man. It's the future of the Jedi. Oh, my goodness, man.
Vania, come on back. I'm sorry. I had to bust a little bit. I'm sorry, Vania. Come
on
back.
All right. So on the front page of our website, we no longer say the Washington Commanders. That's right. We raise hell up in Washington. The playoff of the words HAIL for going back to our tradition of hail the Redskins.
Hail to the Redskins.
Yeah, the song that Vania does not want to hear because it usually means we're scoring. And she's got all of her family members that she has to listen to. What is it like with all your family members when you have to listen to them and Washington's scoring?
It's not fun.
Do they sing Hell to the Redskins?
Sorry?
Do they sing Hell to the Redskins?
No, they don't take it that far. They don't
take it that far? Oh, okay.
Oh, they're cool.
They don't take it that far. But when the Cowboys are scoring, it's one against them all. But when Redskins are scoring, it's all against one. And
it could be brutal. Well,
Vania, I have to tell you, when I'm on the phone with my mama, who's a Dallas fan, die hard, and the game's on the line, and the Redskins, the Commanders score, it's all hell breaking loose. We're talking smack to each other.
I believe it. Oh, I talk smack too. Now, this past Thanksgiving, when we went crazy on Washington, I was getting pillows thrown at me. Oh, they couldn't stand me. They could not stand.
That's awesome.
Well, we got to talk more about what's going on in Washington because there's been a lot of work that's been done about talking about the new stadium and where it's going to get built. There's a large number of people that would like to see the stadium be built in D.C. and have the Washington team back in D.C. regardless of what their name is. But there is a senator, a Republican out of Montana, who represents an Indian tribe there that actually was the person that was actually the tribe that belonged to Chief Two Guns White Calf. And Two Guns White Calf is the person who is in the photo of the logo.
Right. That's history.
Back in the 1960s.
That's cool.
Robert Kennedy met with Walter Blackie Wenzel, who is a descendant of Chief Two Guns White Calf, and helped collaborate on making the Redskins logo. And because he is the senator of Montana from that area where that tribe is, he's also the person who is responsible for the parks and recreation that falls into the federal areas of where the D.C. area is. And he's planning on blocking the bill if they do not bring back the Redskins logo. They're not saying the name, but they want the logo back because it represents his constituencies, which happens to be that Indian tribe.
Wait a minute, Coach Mac, you mean to be the Washington Commanders with a Redskins logo?
Or a name change, or bring back the Redskins name. I mean, this is going to be a controversial thing because just bringing the logo back is going to make people go crazy. Listen, Dan Quinn just wore a Washington Commanders jersey that had 2 feathers on it, and people lost their mind.
You know, Coach Mac, that's one thing Dallas and Vania, that's one thing Dallas ain't going to worry about. They got the star. It's forever. Right. That star is forever. It's a miracle.
Okay, well, let's listen to this.
Senator, who plays a key role in advancing a bill that would give D.C. control of that RFK Stadium campus long-term, is demanding the team bring back its signature logo, which was retired by the team back in 2020.
John Duran listened to that hearing and joins us now. And John, could this impact talks about the future for the Commanders in the district?
Leslie, the bill for D.C. to control RFK and build a stadium will need Montana Senator Steve Daines' approval in the Subcommittee on National Parks to advance in the Senate for a full vote. He wants the old logo back, which a member of the Blackfeet tribe in Montana designed in the early 70s.
Tonight, any potential plan to bring the Commanders to D.C.'s RFK Stadium could be in limbo. The bill to give the district jurisdiction over the RFK campus, which passed the House earlier this year, could face difficulty before it gets to the full Senate.
The team can be a beacon of light for these communities, but until I see meaningful actions that satisfy the Wetzel family and other tribal stakeholders, I cannot support this legislation.
Senator Daniel Daines wants Washington's old logo, created by Blackie Wetzel of the Blackfeet tribe in Montana, back before he endorses the bill. The old logo was a depiction of Chief Two Guns Whitecalf, another member of the tribe.
It's not a caricature. It is a depiction of pride, of strength, of courage, of honor.
Blackie Wetzel's grandson, Ryan, tells WUSA 9 he's been in contact with the Commanders, saying, "My hope is we can come to a place where we can honor my grandfather permanently in the midst of the change."
I can dig that. I can dig that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think, Vania?
I definitely think that they should change the name back. I think they should just 100% change the name back completely. I mean, if we go back to what made them change the name in the first place, you know, it was during 2020 where there was already enough going on in the world. So, but I promise, like, needing to change the name of the Redskins was not the top priority of 2020 by any means.
Yeah, and I will tell you, I've got another Cowboy fan that we're going to listen to right now who would agree with that too. He is from Black and White Sports. Let's take a listen to him right now.
I got to tell you guys, if I was actually a fan of the Washington Redskins, I would be rocking that gear all the time. But I'm a Cowboys fan, okay? Now, the Redskins were the rivals of the Dallas Cowboys, and of course, you know, the Redskins bent the knee in 2020, and they changed their name to one of the dumbest names in sports history, the Commanders. They bent the knee to the mob because the mob said, hey, you can't have that Native American Indian on the side of your helmet anymore. And guys, the Redskins logo, man, was one of the most iconic logos in sports. The Washington Commanders logo now is one of the worst in sports. I hope that Josh Harris actually changes that team name. Magic Johnson, do something about it, man, because that name is awful. Yeah, they still got the colors of the Redskins. But guys, if you are a part of the Washington organization, and if you have any reference to the Redskins, guess what? The votes get triggered. They get triggered, guys. This is utterly ridiculous, man. The Redskins are a part of the history of Washington. That's just a fact, man.
I tell you what, we're not done with the other part. I want to do one more on the stadium one. So let's get to that one right now.
Later today, we could learn more about the future of the RFK Stadium site. A Senate subcommittee will hear testimony on a bill that would transfer administration of RFK from the National Park Service to the District of Columbia. Now, the House has already approved that transfer. It would give the district a lot of options on how to redevelop that site. The mayor, D.C. council members, and civic groups have offered a range of proposals, everything from a brand new stadium to mixed-use homes and retail shops to neighborhood athletic space and parkland. Now, I want to bring Annie in now because there's a new push that's being tied to that hearing. It's all tied together that would change the Washington Commanders logo back to what it used to be.
All right. This is where it gets controversial, and these guys are going to like piss me off, but let's go with it. Because, listen, this is where people still find this controversial. So let's listen to it.
Did you guys ever think we would be back at this debate?
I'm not surprised, actually.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised.
Right? Because it never really went away.
I don't think it's going to happen, but
with the diehards,
what do I know?
Yeah. All right. Well, that's right, Wiz. We are talking about the Native American logo once used by the team. In an advance copy of remarks prepared for today's hearing on the RFK legislation, Montana Senator Steve Daines is demanding current Commanders ownership and the NFL to, quote, honor the pride, history, and heritage of the Blackfeet tribe, who are his constituents, for the tribe's contribution to the team's legacy. Now, take a look at this picture. It shows Blackfeet tribe member Blackie Wetzel with then Senator Robert F. Kennedy in the 1960s. Kennedy there is holding a picture of what would eventually become the previous logo many of us know. Daines says the logo was based on the image of a chief from that tribe, and that Wetzel met with the team's leadership back then to collab on this logo. And in a phone interview with our Eric Flagg, Wetzel's grandson said that when the name changed, the name and logo was sort of banned from the NFL and forgotten about. He said it's not fair to his family and his grandfather's legacy. And so that's what Eric Flagg, our investigative reporter or chief investigative reporter, learned.
All the way back to Kennedy.
But, interesting, we're back at this
Right.
debate here that's so fierce in our DMV.
Yeah.
It's not a
and I know
debate.
that, I mean, people they stand on it as far as, legacy in the team. This was our team, and that's the name of it. I'm going to take my journalist hat off and put my person hat on. I hope that we do not revert to that because I think that was, for me, an embarrassing time to be a Washington fan, because I consider that term
You're not
to
a
be
Washington fan, don't lie.
A derogatory term for Native Americans. So, as in any group, there are going to be some who say, no, it's not. But, for the good of all, as we're seeing these Confederate statues come down and a different approach on the Confederate flag and all that, society hopefully is progressing.
Yeah. And the NFL has a lot to do with this as well. I don't know if the NFL wants to go backwards and deal with this again, because this was an issue for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And from a marketing standpoint, I think the NFL was glad to wipe their hands. New ownership, the old owner's out, all that's behind them. And the last thing I think they want to do is to bring this back up and put this back out there for the public to be debating about this again.
It's safe to say everyone's got an opinion on this.
Yeah, right.
Let us know.
All right. We had to listen to an opposing view.
Yeah.
Because we have to be fair on the show. But I will tell you, I don't know. This is not in the same area as Confederate statues coming down, all this other crazy nonsense that we're talking about. They read it the first time. It's about honoring Indian groups, Native Americans in this country. It's about doing that. And oh, by the way, if you go to the Native American Guardian Association and you actually look up the word Redskin, and they give you a whole description of what that word means to Indians. And 90% of all Indian organizations, 90% people support the name of the Redskins. Now, let's back it up a step. That's not even what we're talking about here. We're not even talking about the word Redskins. We're talking about the logo that honored this chief in Montana that was collaborated on, that the Indian organizations approved, that we trademarked, and we were using. It just kills me. It kills me.
Vania joined me on this. Ain't a lot of Dan Snyder fans out there.
But
right?
this isn't really Dan Snyder.
The one thing Dan Snyder did was hold on to that logo and the name as long as he possibly could before the pressure just got too great. That's the one credit I will give Dan Snyder.
Yeah, Home Depot dropped out. FedEx started dropping out. Pepsi started dropping out. He started losing all his sponsors, and he bowed to all the money because, when people start walking with all their money, it gets to be kind of tough.
And he's
So
still
again,
for $6 billion.
So, Vania, what do you think? You think we should bring the logo back?
I feel like we should bring the logo back because it seems to me the only people who seem to be upset about the logo are the people who haven't truly done the research behind the logo.
That's true. And I think I'm going to do a little bit more work on the Native American Guardian Association and what they have and do that a little bit more because I think our viewers would like to be educated probably a little bit more on that. You can look up their website and go check it out. But, I've done the research and I've looked at these organizations and I started looking at it as soon as this became an issue because I was like, what is the big deal? Like, what is the real thing behind this? And I didn't understand it then. And I think a lot of this is reactionary, cultural reactions to something that they're not necessarily wanting to be informed on. You want to jump to a conclusion before you do your research. And we should all be smarter than that. I mean,
my friend said it, so that must be true. I'm not going to look at it myself. I'm just going to believe what my friend said, and then you got something going on without you actually using your brain and looking at it yourself. Yep.
So I'd say bring it back. Bring back the logo. Bring it back.
HTTR, baby.
Yeah. See, I'm a Redskin for life. And I don't use that as a derogatory term. I call myself a Redskin. So, and I don't speak derogatory of myself. So, that's the way it is. And that's my logo. Now,
Large Sarge, secret here, Large Sarge is a quarter Cherokee Indian. And I love the logo.
I am partially a Choctaw Indian. So I got Indian in my blood too. I'm a mutt. I got a little bit of everything in my blood.
I think, you got any Indian in you? Don't know?
I do not. I do not.
You do not, or you don't know?
I do not. I do not have any.
So, I think out of the 260 or 300 ethnicities in my family tree, I think I probably got them all. I think I got everything in me, man. So it's just really weird. Like, I go to my family tree, everything is in there. So, but I have a little bit of Indian in me. So, but I also have soldiers background in there too that fought against Indians. So I think I had it all, man. So I was like my blood makes up both sides of the battles back then, right? So
Vania, just for being on the show, we're going to give you some Redskin credit tonight. You got some. Take it.
I'll take it.
There you go.
There you go.
Thank you, gentlemen, for having me on.
All right, everybody. That is our show for tonight. Let's give it up for Vania. Hey, we love you. We appreciate you. You're awesome on the show tonight. And that's it. That's all we have for you tonight. This is Football Psyche, and we are out of here. Woo!